Alright, so I had to release a word of warning, judgment, all that stuff. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it now. But now this is on a message a bit happier. The Lord has been telling me for a few weeks now, for those who've been following me for some time, God will sometimes give me a word through TV show, and I enjoy it. Even though I'm an adult, I still enjoy watching cartoon movies, especially movies from my childhood and cartoons in general. But especially like the older Disney movies, like the ones like before the 2000s or the early 2000s, because those just really have like a heart and a message. So God has been telling me to watch the movie Ratatouille, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Ratatouille, I'll put it up here on the screen for y'all to see. But this movie, I believe, came out in 2007, and it's about a rat that has a dream, doesn't want to follow the things that his family is telling him to do. He wants more from his life than just scrabbling for food every day, or scrabbling for food every day, or just trying to survive. He wants to actually be a cook. He's inspired by going into this old lady's house almost every day and getting food, and she'd have the TV onto the cooking channel, and he would learn how to cook and all this other stuff. So he just had a fascination for food and wanting to cook, and he eventually gets washed away because him and his family have to leave because the old lady found that they were living like in the roof or whatnot, and it had collapsed. All this is taking place, and he ends up going to another place and actually loses contact with his family along the way. But long story short, he ends up getting separated from his family, and then he ends up coming upon this restaurant by this famous chef that he was watching on the TV. And so he somehow gets stuck in the restaurant, and he ends up seasoning the food and stuff like that without them seeing, and he's able to run out. Well, before he's able to run out, this new person who has been hired to be like the trash collector or whatnot, he comes in, and he's not supposed to be cooking. He ruining the meal, and the rat, the main character, he's seeing it from the window. He's like, oh no, like he's ruining the meal, and he's not even supposed to, the man's not even supposed to be cooking or whatnot. But long story short, the man and the rat end up working together, and it's the rat in his hat that's pulling him, telling him what to put in the seasoning and all that stuff, because he gets leveled up from trash guy to cook, because people like enjoyed his food and they like, oh well, maybe he cooked it by accident and maybe it was really good. But no, he's having the rat help him, and they can't really see that. And it's a very interesting movie. I'm not gonna get too into it, but the revelation of what the Lord was telling me is that if you focus on what you left behind, because it was his family, and his father was saying that this dream that he has is not possible, that's not normal, and basically his family was speaking death onto the dream that he had in his heart of wanting to be a cook. He wanted to cook food. He had a love for cooking food. And if you focus on what is left behind you, you won't be able to see what's up ahead. So if he was focusing, I know he missed his family in the movie, but if he was gonna focus on that too much and not pursuing his dream, then he would have lost out on that opportunity to become a cook in a very profound way. Another thing that was said was a part of being, this was something that the chef was saying on the TV, a part of being fearless is learning from your mistakes and not being afraid to make one. And the things that God may be calling you to do may be making you fearful. You may be stepping into some new things, but don't allow fear to stop you from stepping into it, but step into the calling boldly. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you that courageousness and step into your calling. Don't be afraid to, what if I mess up and all this other stuff. Like, don't allow your fear of messing up stop you from stepping forward. And then there's some people around the rat, like I said, his family, that tried to, before he becomes a cook, that tried to dim his gift that he had, but he was taking a risk learning how to cook in that kitchen, and then that's how he stumbled upon the man, and he used him to be able to cook or whatnot. It's a very interesting movie if you haven't seen it. But his family was just, you know, they wanted him with them because he had such a profound smell that he could sniff out poison and say, you can eat this, don't eat this. And so that's what they would use him for. But he feels like he was called to more than just being a poison detector or helping get food every day. And he had a gift. Something else was that the rat, he was bored operating in the same old, and he desired more for his life. So when he heard that phrase on TV from the famous chef that anyone can cook, that gave him hope and the motivation to be doing something different with his life. And so you see him ultimately take this risk throughout the movie. There's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows, there's some discouraging moments, but it's a good movie overall. Definitely check it out and just see what revelation the Lord, what more he wants to speak to you concerning that movie. But that's the revelation that I was hearing the Lord give me. So if God is calling you into something new, you have a dream, a vision upon your heart, definitely surrender the vision before him, of course, and push through and take those necessary steps, even though it may seem scary, it may seem like you can't do this, but it's like God called you to do the things that you can't necessarily do on your own, and he knows this because you have to partner with him in order for that vision or the dream to come to pass. And I spoke more about I did a whole dream series a few months ago. There's a whole playlist on it on my YouTube channel, so hit the link in my bio and be sure to follow me for more videos, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.